Local groups are coming together to make sure people are fed on Thanksgiving. Our Nixon Norman tells us what they're doing to help put dinner on the table for those in need.
We are all experiencing challenges right now during this time of COVID and the downturn in the economy. But in the downturn is where we see the needs the most, and as we experience downturns inside of our own company, we could become very insulated, but we don't want to be. We want to be out in the community and helping those in need.
Raytheon Technologies and Downtown Rescue Mission are coming together to feed 1,000 families in need for Thanksgiving.
I think we have been the beneficiary of just a lot of not only individuals and families, but companies in town that have called and reached out wanting to do food drives, toiletry drives, all kind of different things that we need here.
This is the first year that Raytheon and the Mission are teaming up to do this.
With the unique circumstances of everything that's going on in the environment today, really taking the opportunity to give back to our community is essential. And getting all of our employees gathered around this cause has been great.
But giving a helping hand to the community is nothing new for Raytheon.
It's nothing new for our employees to be out here giving back in the community, and it's nothing new for Raytheon Technologies to be providing support for such a worthy cause.
There's about 60 people here today that are packing boxes in order to feed about 1,000 people for Thanksgiving. The box includes things like cranberry sauce, green beans, and mashed potatoes, all the basics that you would need for a Thanksgiving meal.
The Mission gives out food all year round. There have been surges when it comes to need, especially now during the holidays.
We did see around, March, April, May, an uptick on how many we were giving out, and we see that number going back up again.
Putting the Valley first, Nixon Norman, WZDX News.